Hello, good fellows. Today I have for you the Brass Willy Custom. This is my first 2011 build. So the first question some of you might be asking is, what is a 2011? Well, a 2011 is not a double stack 1911. A double stack 1911 is just a double stack 1911. So some double stack 1911s out there might be the older Paras, which are fantastic. It's a real shame what Remington did to that company, although they were made in Canada, and we all know that that is a desolate wasteland and a hellscape for gun owners. Nonetheless, Rock Island Armory is also making lots of double stack 1911s these days, and also there are a few mutants out there that take Glock magazines. For what reason, I don't really know, I guess ubiquity. But nonetheless, a 2011 is something different. A 2011 is a slide, a frame, and a grip module. And the grip module is actually removable. You can see the screws there, and there's a little screw here that you use to remove the grip from the frame, from the slide. So when you are making a 2011, the first thing you have to do is take a frame. So I have a Chile frame here, and I've hand polished this frame to a nice beautiful shine here. And you fit the rails, so the things the slide rides on, which you can't necessarily see here, but you fit the rails to the slide. So I have a Wilson Combat slide, which was a overrun, and I have a Chile custom frame. This is the long, heavy, extra wide dust cover. You can see this thing is much wider than the slide itself. It weighs a shit ton. This whole gun actually weighs 60 ounces. So you fit the frame to the slide. Then you get to fit the barrel, and this is a Sig Sauer barrel. And so you fit the barrel to the slide, and I have a bushing here, so you have to fit the bushing to the barrel, the bushing to the slide, and then there are locking lugs up in here, which allow this to have its beautiful Browning tilt action. But then you have to fit the locking lugs to the slide, and then you have to fit the barrel to the frame, which also involves using a special customized tool to get the locking lugs right, and it's just a pain in the ass. And then at the end of everything, you get to blend in all these bits. So I've spent a little time blending these. We have a metal. This is a heavy Infinity grip module. So most 2011s you'll see will come with a plastic grip module. This is substantially heavier. You can see it has a massive magazine well. So you also get to fit the beaver tail, which you can see is pinned here, as well as the frame onto the grip module. So there's a lot of hand fitting. And then you also get the pleasure of making it all run right. So I've got super high quality parts in this gun. There are no MIM parts, so I'm going to call it Springfield Armory right off the bat for using absolutely garbage MIM parts in their guns, which is why they're so cheap. So you're getting what you pay for, and if that grizzled veteran guy, salesperson really turns you on, well, I'm sorry. Those guns are trash. Stop buying them. You can replace all the garbage parts. Kimber uses a lot of MIM parts as well, although they tend to fit their guns together a little better than Springfield, in my opinion. But I've used really high quality steel parts. Most of these I got from Brownells. We've got like Wilson Combat beaver tail, Wilson Combat bushing. I'm not the biggest Wilson Combat fanboy either, but they make really good parts. We do have an Infinity trigger here. So this is, in my opinion, kind of the heart of any 1911, 2011. This is why you want them. They have just these insane trigger pulls. Let's see the reset. There it is. So they're crazy. They shoot so well. That's why everybody loves them. They shoot well, they point well, they feel good in the hand. They're a real slice of America here. Other things I've done with this pistol, I have, as you can see, a single-sided manual safety. I think the ambi safeties are kind of an unnecessary flex unless you're left-handed, and I do have some friends who are left-handed, and I don't hold it against them, but I personally, being right-handed, don't give a shit about ambi safeties, and when I have the choice, do not install them. Finally, we've got some custom work on here that I did not do. So we have an optic mounted on the gun. Local guy, Rob Kendall from Model Tech, did the brass Willy, and then he did the optics mount. And then I sent it out to Southwest Precision for the porting. So we have 8 ports, and they did this beautiful Cerakote on the gun. So we've got this nice brass Willy two-tone look, which is kind of my thing. The porting is ridiculous. Between this gun weighing 60 ounces, this gun being a 1911-2011, which allows me to get a leverage point here, and if you do not use the manual safety as a leverage point, you are wrong. And then the extra wide frame actually has a cutout here, which is perfect as a thumb rest. So between this gun weighing 11 billion pounds and being ported, it is absolutely silly to shoot. I just love it. It is the first gun I've ever built. I mean, we've all put Glocks together, and I can do one of those in half an hour, but this thing I put together myself, and I love it. I love how it shoots. I'm very proud of it. You know, there's just something great about shooting a gun you've built in a competition and having it run and having people ask you about it. There's an element of pride there, and you know, those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted, but it's kind of hard not to be proud of this build. So the last thing we have is a Swamp Fox optic. So I use the Swamp Fox on this build because A, the window is tremendously huge. This is a fun gun, so I don't need it to be life or death. You know, I'm not worried about getting killed in the streets. I'm not punching the optic off of posts. I am not carrying this pistol. In fact, I don't think it's a smart idea to carry a Glock or a 1911 or any pistol that you have personally assembled yourself, just from liability reasons. Now, before everyone chimes in and says, well, you know, this, that, and that, look, I'm a lawyer. You probably aren't. I'm not your lawyer, but in my time as a lawyer, I've learned a couple of things. I've learned that modifications which help the gun shoot better, like an optic, which allows you to remain target focused the way you should be shooting, or ergonomic improvements or traction improvements, or things like hollow points, which actually prevent over penetration of bystanders. Those things are pretty defensible. Relying on a gun you built yourself for self-defense, even if it is 100% reliable. I mean, I know nobody's a Jedi until they've built their own lightsaber, but guys, go out and spend $500 to get a Glock and carry that around. Leave these for the fun times. But to anyone who's intimidated about building a 2011 or any pistol, again, I just told you all I am an idiot. I am a lawyer. I have soft hands. And I managed to put this gun together. It might have taken me 40 hours and a lot of time, a lot more time than that, just looking on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I mean, this thing is, it's ridiculous. So if I can do it, you can do it. Anyway, I've talked for longer than usual. I'm getting a little thirsty. I think it's time for a crispy white monster.